Ah, the Super Bowl. 32 teams competing to get their hands on the sweet old Lombardi trophy. Some better than others. But today, we're going to talk about one quarterback who could really change his fate by doing this one simple thing. Hey guys, thank you for clicking on today's video. What I do is I make videos on sports betting, NFL memes, anything football content, I make it. And if you guys like that content, which I think you do because you clicked on this video, please consider subscribing. It helps me out, it helps you guys out because it's putting my stuff in your feed. So thank you guys. Now let's get into this video. Now there's one quarterback out there who does not get the respect he deserves from the media. The quarterback is none other than Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk is a good quarterback, right? He's good, he's top 10, top 12, wherever you put him, he's a pretty decent quarterback, right? Most teams would be happy to have him as their starting quarterback. But the problem with Kirk is that he's getting paid way too much. He's getting paid $36 million a year, which for the level at which he plays, I think is overpaying, right? Now, I think Kirk is a great quarterback, and I think he gets so much hate in the media that he does not deserve, and it is completely unwarranted. Take it from me, to give myself some credit, I was someone who was totally against signing Kirk Cousins. I was a Kirk Cousins hater for his first 2 years in Minnesota, but his last 3 years, he has really shown to be a really good quarterback, and he's really stepped it up, right? He's improved every year. He's gotten better every single year he's been in Minnesota, and he's been a very clutch quarterback, right? You listen to the media, they're going to say, oh, he doesn't show up in pride time. He shrinks in the small moments, which is couldn't be further from the truth. He really does make plays when we need him to make plays. I mean, you can go back and put on the tape. He did it so many times this past season. He did it versus the Saints in the playoffs a few years ago. He brought us back from down 20 versus Denver. There was multiple times where Kirk has stepped up when he needed to, right? And the media doesn't talk about that. They only talk about the times he messes up. And when he does, they just harp on him. So he gets a lot of unwarranted hate in the media. So I really do think that Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I think that you can win a Super Bowl with him as your quarterback very easily. But the problem is he cannot be getting paid $36 million a year. Now, historically, no team has ever won the Super Bowl with their quarterback making more than 12.2% of their salary cap, right? And that quarterback is Tom Brady. So what that tells you is if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you have to have your quarterback has to be taking a discount or on a cheap contract, and you have to build a good roster around him. It doesn't matter how good of a quarterback he is. If he doesn't have a good roster, he is still not going to win because the NFL is so competitive. So what I am going to run through today is I'm going to say that Kirk Cousins, says, hey, I actually want to win a Super Bowl, right? I don't want to sit back and get paid a ton of money. I actually want to win and build a legacy. So what he does, he goes to the front office. He goes to Kwesi. He says, Kwesi, you know what? I want to pull up Brady here, right? I want to win Super Bowls. I'm going to take a discount, but in return for that, I want you to go spend this money and get me some guys, right? Give me some guys that can win us a Super Bowl. So what's going to happen here is we're going to take Kirk and we're going to give him a whole new deal. And what we're going to do is we're going to give him 12% of our salary cap, which this year ends up being $26 million, okay? So we're going to be, so now that Kirk's taken that discount, we are still at $12 million over the cap. So to really build a Super Bowl roster around him, I'm going to trim some of the fat on this roster, right? I'm going to get rid of some of these contracts. Some of these guys that are being overpaid. Some of these guys who are not playing up to their contract. And I'm going to do some analytical things that statistically really Super Bowl teams do. So Adam Thielen, he has taken a step back. He's a fan favorite here in Minnesota, but paying him $19 million a year is just not going to cut it. So what we end up doing is trading him. We sent him away for a 7th round pick. Okay, so he's gone. So that clears some money off our books, and that really clears up money for 24, not necessarily 23. It takes a little bit off, but not as much as it will in 24. Second thing we go, Dalvin Cook, another fan favorite. Everybody loves him, but you can't pay running backs and win a Super Bowl. So what we have to do is we're going to send him to Buffalo, and we're going to get back a 4th and a 5th, right? So he is gone. He's off this team. He no longer plays for us, and we're going to go into the offseason with Ty Chandler as a running back. So we're going to figure something out there, but Dalvin Cook is gone, okay? Eric Hendricks, you don't pay linebackers. You got to get rid of him. And Jordan Hicks, another guy, cut. We traded Hendricks for a 7th. That puts us at $15 million in cap space, right? So what we're going to do now is we want to build that team that wins the Super Bowl. So we're going to go out, we're going to be players in free agency, right? So the first guy that we're going to go out is we're going to go sign Daron Payne. Right, we're gonna get the defensive tackle from Washington. Right, we're gonna pay him $20 million a year. $20 million a year, right? He's gonna be making bank, right? We're gonna be paying him a big contract, but we're doing this because we want to win Super Bowl. So we got to get a good defense if we're gonna win a Super Bowl. 10 of the last 11 Super Bowl winners were top 10 in turnover margins. So if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to create turnovers, and by doing that, we're gonna come get a big dude in the middle who can create pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. Okay, so we signed him, and then our second free agent signing is we're gonna go out and we're signing Kyle Van Noy. Right, we're gonna sign the linebacker from the Chargers. Just a cheaper deal. I forgot to mention for this particular video, we're gonna hire Brian Flores as our defensive coordinator. It looks like he might be the favorite. If he doesn't get the Cardinals head coaching job, he's gonna be the Vikings defensive coordinator. So saying Brian Flores is our defensive coordinator, and because he is our corner, we're bringing Devin Bush to play linebacker because he is from the Steelers, and we're gonna pay him. So we got 2 new linebackers in for us, and then we're also gonna go and we're gonna re-sign our guys. We're gonna bring back Duke Shelley. We're actually gonna extend Garrett Bradbury. We're gonna do him with high guarantees in his first 2 years. We can get out of that third year if he ends up not being good anymore. All right, so after extending all our players, we re-signed Bradbury and Patrick Peterson. We are still at $17 million over the cap, and since we have some cap space for next year, we're gonna go restructure some guys and push some of the money back, so we have money in years to come. So we restructured Brian O'Neill, and then we also restructure Harrison Smith. All right, and then we need a little more space, so we restructure Za'Darius. Okay. So this is the team that we're gonna be going. So we're gonna be going into the draft. We're gonna be going in the draft, and our biggest needs right now is we're probably gonna want to get for sure a running back, maybe a cornerback, a linebacker, and so we don't have a ton of needs, right? Maybe a receiver and whatnot. And one thing I forgot to mention, since we signed Hawkinson to an extension, for whatever reason, a lot of Super Bowl winners, majority of them, for whatever reason, have a top 10 tight end. So I'm guessing it's because the value at tight end there's so much value there where you're not paying tight ends as much as you're paying a top receiver. So you can get a top tight end a lot cheaper than a top wide receiver. So I think the value there kind of just plays out. Okay. So Jacksonville offers that. We'll take that. So let's look at trade back. I'm always big team trade back, okay? And okay, I like that trade. We could go back with Cleveland. No, that's not a realistic trade. I like this trade. Throw in. Let's move up 7th round, which means nothing, but I love doing that because why not? So we get to pick 28. Counter again. We're gonna go with 130, and we get 94. Okay, deal. Oh, the Saints took Smith and Njigba. That's who I was kind of looking at potentially taking here, because we do need another wide receiver. For whatever reason, they took one. So Jamar Gibbs is still there at running back, so that would be a really interesting guy. I really like him a lot, but we don't run the ball a whole lot. Okay, we don't. Boom. Okay, so we trade out of. So we trade out of the first round entirely, okay? Traded back with New England. So we have a lot of picks here. I think we have a pretty solid roster, so we do have the benefit of going best player available. Let's look at what they left at cornerback. Tyreek Stevenson is definitely someone who's in play here. Linebackers. Nobody that's tickling my fancy here. Wide receivers, Zay Flowers maybe. Let's go defense. Let's go take a corner. Let's take Stevenson, right? So we brought back Patrick Peterson. We have Cam Dantzler. We have Booth. We have Duke Shelley. But we still need another young guy in there to play in. So we'll bring him in. And right now we still need a linebacker, okay? But this defense really needs help. But let's go take a wide receiver, why don't we? And who we are going to take? None other than Houston, the Houston wide receiver. Where's the Houston wide receiver at? Let's go with Nathan Dell, the Houston wide receiver. Had a great Senior Bowl. We take him. We get to pick 76 here. Let's see what we got for trade offers. Nothing here. Okay, let's take the running back. I'm taking the UCLA kid. Boom, there we go. So we got our running back figured out. We'll have him, and then we'll have Ty Chandler, and then Keeney. We'll be doing pretty solid back in our running back room. So let's go back to defense. We still need a linebacker. Let's go take the Washington State kid. Let's go take him. There we go. Why not? Move back. We're fit. All right. And then we also, this is such a good, take another edge rusher. Could take a quarterback, develop behind Cousins. Could take another running back. This is a great tight end class. But, you know, we're going to go take some insurance for Bradbury. You take Olu. McKee is still sitting here. We need a backup quarterback. A good young guy to develop. Why not? Take a backup quarterback. Someone to develop behind Cousins. Still need probably some more linebacker depth. Let's go with Riley Moss out of Iowa. Let's take a guard though, just to build up some more depth there. So in the 5th round, we take another guard. And then we could go with another running back, just in case we need some more depth in this team. Actually, we're gonna go with the receiver. We're gonna go with the guy out of Hampton, Bonds, speedy guy, I think he is, jump ball guy. Let's go with another linebacker. Let's go with let's go with Jeremy Banks. And then we're going to take a kicker because we can do a lot better than Gregory Joseph. We take Jake Moody out of Michigan. So Vikings fans, what are we thinking about this mock draft? I think that's looking pretty good. I think through this, we were able to address some of our needs. We were able to build depth on this team so we could put ourselves in a position to maybe move off some of our big contracts coming in 2024. We got to put some young guys in there. I think we moved off to some of the bad contracts. And most importantly, we have a quarterback that's making under 12% of the salary cap. So we can go win a Super Bowl, right? That's the whole goal of this whole thing. So if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, why wouldn't you put yourself in the best position to do so? Because don't say you're trying to win when you're prohibiting your team, Kirk Cousins. You're seriously holding back your team from getting paid as much as you are. Sorry, it's just the truth. So comment down below your thoughts. What would you do different? And maybe go check out one of these videos. You might like them. If you like this one, you're probably going to like one of these videos, guys. So thank you guys. I appreciate your support so much. Out.